Guys, welcome to my channel Look and Leap. I'm a Looker developer. I have more than about 6 years of experience on Looker, and today we'll talk about Looker CI/CD operations, that is Looker version control using Bare repository and Git repository. We'll talk about the benefits of each of these and the limitation, and today we'll just be covering that, and I will make one more video where I will basically explore each of these in detail, and after that you can decide which one to choose for your first project. Let's head over to Looker now. In Looker, if you have not created any project yet, so you can head over to projects. So this is the projects window. Right now you are seeing configure new model and new model button, but earlier there was a way to directly create a blank project. That is sadly not a way. Looker have changed their UIs recently, but you can use the old UI as well. If you go to admin and if you go to legacy features, then you can basically enable this use legacy project creation. This will enable the old way of creating a Looker project. So let's head over to project again. If I go here, I will just click on projects and projects page will open for me. Now as you can see, I am able to see new Lookaml project button directly. If I click here, since I'm not in development mode, and I have to be a developer and I have to be in a development mode to be able to create projects. So let's go into the development mode. It has given me a button here directly, but there is another way to go into development mode which I will show you shortly. So now as I'm in development mode, which you can see by the blue bar here, you are in development mode. So I can now create a new project. There are a couple of options here, so let's just give the project name first. Okay, so here there are 3 points. Starting point: generate model from database schema, clone public Git repo, and blank project. Okay, for the sake of this video, let's just create a blank project for now. Once I click a blank project, one extra project will appear inside my project list, which you can see from here. There is one more project here, Looker tutorial. So this is the blank project window. There are no files here in the file browser. There are a couple of options here, and on the right we have configure Git button. Let's just go with configure Git button. Let's just click configure Git. So this is the Git configuration window. Here you will see two options. One is you can provide a Git repo URL, which is like Bitbucket, Git, GitHub URL. Okay, if there is already a repository you have created, you can provide that URL here. If you have not created any Git repo, you can also go through these instructions on this link and create your repo on GitHub or Bitbucket or any other Git providing services. Or if you don't have access to Git server, then you can set up a Bare repositories instead, right? Let's just click the setup Bare repository. Okay, so now we are at configure Bare Git repository. This process will set up a Bare Git repo on your Looker servers. This repository will be used as the remote branch of your current project, right? Let's just go ahead and create this repo. As you can see, local Git repo successfully created this path, that is Looker data model shared bare models Looker tutorial.git. You won't really have the access to this data unless you have the access to the backend server, which is usually not the case for most of the Looker instances. So if you are on cloud, most likely you won't have access to this path, but anyhow Looker will communicate with this path of Git repository and save all the version of our codes. So let's just go back to project now. As you can see on the right now, this says up to date. That means there is no code changes, there is no code pull that you have to do right away. And on the left side, earlier there were only 4 buttons. Now you can see there is a 5th button, that is Git actions. And as you can see, this is my branch name. For every Git repo, every project, if you create any project and set up a Git configuration, then there will be a personal branch created for every developer. That personal branch can only be edited by that developer only. So if you want to create a branch that can be edited by any other developer, all the developers, then here when you come here, you can click on this drop down, create new branch, and let's say you write it shared branch, Looker tutorial. Okay, then you can select where from which branch you want to create this another branch. You can select this production, the production is master branch, and you can also create a branch from your personal branch. Let's just select master for now. Now as you can see here, this we have switched to this branch and it says shared branch. So here when you created this branch, there is the button also changed to push branch to remote, right? So what happens is now this branch is at your local. This is not visible to any other developers right now because this branch is not yet pushed to the bare repo that we created. So we have to push it out so that other users can also see and use it. Other developers can also use it, right? So now it says up to date. Now whatever changes you do in your file browser, you can push all the changes and the other developers can also use it. So this is a brief of how you can easily create bare repository and start collaborating with fellow developers. Now let's move on to the limitation and the benefits of that. So benefits, it is obviously quick to start your project and collaborate. You can quickly deploy your first draft of code and the dashboard so that other users can also use it right away. And the last benefit is you don't really need any Git provider subscription, and you can easily you don't have to be dependent on any other team member in your team, and you can start providing your solutions to your end users. The limitation is it's not very intuitive. When you go into further development, then you don't really have a UI which is very a great UI like GitHub, which you can use to switch between branches, see the commits. The limitation is as you develop further along inside bare repository, it does not really have a great UI just like GitHub, so that it becomes a less intuitive thing as you go along. And also the code isn't saved on external repo, so if the project is deleted, then you don't have access to your code. Many specific features that are provided by Git providers like cherry picking, committing, reviewing the branch at a specific commit, and also forking the branches. These kind of things are not available using the bare repository. So let's move on to the project again and see how we can configure a Git repo. So these are the settings of your project. As you can see here, you have a couple of options: configuration, credential import, branch management, and editor. Let's just go with the configuration first. So you will first see your project name. The second, you will see this branch name, which is the Git production branch name. So whatever changes you do to your branch, you have to merge it into this branch and deploy it on this instance for other users to see. So this will be your production branch. You cannot directly edit it without using a pull request mechanism, and which is the best way. You can directly also like push code to it, but that is not really a very good thing to do. It's not very very safe way to do your changes. At the bottom you will see a couple of options like code quality, so we'll go through all these later on. But if I want to like now I want to change it to a Git connection rather than using the bare repository, right? So what I can do is I can click on reset Git connection. So now I want to change it to a GitHub repo, not the bare repo. I don't want to use that anymore. So let's just go into GitHub and create a repo. I will click new repository. I will just put name like Looker tutorial. Okay, 1. So now I'm creating a new repo. It will be let's say I will make it private, and I'll just create this repo now. So let's just copy this SSH git repo URL and paste it here. click continue. So it has given me something called SSH key, which I need to copy and save it in my GitHub account so that Looker can communicate with my GitHub account. I will go to settings here. Here, if you go to settings, then you will land on this page. You will see SSH and GPG keys. Use new SSH key. Add this key here. Give it a name, Looker tutorial 1, and then add SSH key. Now your SSH key is added. Go head on to Looker again and test and finalize setup. If everything is looking good, if the setup is successful, then you will land on this screen again. At the bottom, you will see Git hosting service as GitHub and the remote origin URL as whatever GitHub URL we have. So now we are basically configured GitHub on our Looker project. Okay, if you see here, it has changed to push branch to remote because our GitHub repo has changed. Now this branch is obviously not there because that was a blank repo. So let's just push this to remote. Okay, so this is how you set up Git repo on your Looker project. What are the benefits, right? So LookML code writing and collaboration just become like a software development service. So as you know, using Git is like the bare bone of any software development project. So Looker becomes just like a software development project only, and you can use almost all the benefits of Git, like cherry picking, creating a branch from a specific commit. So these kind of benefits basically provides you a edge over other BI tools. So I hope you liked this video and saw how easy it is to set up a Bare repo and how easy it is to set up a Git repo, and also maybe understood a bit of differences between these two, but definitely it has to be completely understood by examples. So stay tuned for my next video where I will go deep into each of these repo types and show you the nitty-gritties of each. And stay tuned and click the bell icon to get the latest update from my channel.